Hello students, in the previous session we discussed some problems, that is two problems relating to calculation of book profit and total income of the firm. In this session also let us solve two more problems relating to that. Go through this problem. A, B, C are partners in a firm sharing profits and losses in the proportion of 2:1. The firm's profit and loss account for the year ended 31st March 2020 showed a net loss of rupees 80,000 after charging the following items. Here net loss is given, that is 80,000. See, interest on capital at 20%. A, B, C are three partners. At the rate of 20% is given, but up to 12% is allowed. Beyond that 12% is disallowed item. That is 8%. That is 20% minus 12%. 8% is disallowed. Interest on capital at 20% amounts to rupees 2,000, 4,000 and 6,000. You have to deduct 8% of this 2,000, 4,000 and 6,000 from 80,000. As I told you in the previous session, if there is net loss, you have to deduct disallowed items from net loss because they increases the loss amount. Now you have to reduce that loss amount by deducting the disallowed items, and you have to add the items which are actually allowable which you deducted earlier. It's like that. Okay, next see salary of A. Only for A they are giving salary 6,000 and bonus 4,000, 4,000 and 4,000. In this problem all three partners are not working partners. See the last sentence, that is A and B are working partners. So here allowed items which you have to add back is salary of only A and B. Let us note that while solving the problem. See, the net loss was arrived after considering 3,800 being the dividend received. Here dividend received is actually allowable item. Here dividend paid to partners, which is actually an expenditure to the company, which you already included the net loss, which increased the net loss. Now you have to add that dividend received to the net loss to get the book loss or book profit, and 2,000 as interest on drawings by C, which you should not consider. Next, compute the total income of the firm and the income of partners from the firm taxable under section 28. A and B are working partners. Here income of individual you have to calculate also. Let us solve the problem. Computation of total income of the firm for the assessment year 2020-21. Net loss as per profit and loss account is given, that is 80,000. From that you have to deduct disallowed items. Three items are there. First one, salary of A 6,000, interest on capital above 12%. ABC calculated as follows: 2,000 of A, 2,000, 8% is above 12%, that is 800, and 4,000 into 8 by 20, 1,600, and 6,000 into 8 by 20, 2,400. So the total of interest on capital above 12% amounts to rupees 4,800. Next, bonus of three partners 4,000, 4,000, 4,000, that amounts to rupees 12,000. So the total disallowed items amounts to rupees 22,800. You have to deduct that from net loss, that is 57,200. So there is one admissible items, that is dividend received, which you included in the net loss. Now we have to adding back that thing. So to get book loss, that is 3,800, that amounts to rupees, when you add this 3,800 to the loss, that amounts to rupees 61,000 of book loss. And also dividend received from domestic company is exempt from tax under the head income from other sources. Okay. Here book loss amounts to rupees 61,000, that is 61,000 in negative figure actually. Now we have to calculate total income of the firm, that is add working partners remuneration. Okay, here working partners remuneration, salary and bonus of working partners. Here only two working partners are there, A and B. So the total of salary and bonus amounts to rupees 14,000, that is 6,000 salary and 4,000 plus 4,000, 8,000 of bonus, that amounts to rupees 14,000. When there is a negative book profit, that is when there is book loss, the statutory limit is 1,50,000. So whichever is less you have to consider, that is 14,000 or 1,50,000. Here 14,000 is less, so you have to consider that one to calculate business loss or business profit. Here business loss amounts to rupees 75,000, that is 61,000 of book loss plus 14,000 of working partners remuneration as expenditure. Total of business loss amounts to rupees 75,000. One more income is given, that is dividend from Indian company, that coming under income from other sources, that you have to add here. Add other sources, dividend from Indian company, exempt. So you get gross total income less deduction under section 80. Here no deduction under section 80 is given, so nil. So the total income amounts to rupees 75,000. Or else you can stop the problem here itself, no need to show this one. Here you can write business loss or total loss or total income, like that you have to write. Okay, this is the total income of the firm. Now you have to calculate profit of a partners taxable under section 28. Here all expenditure of the firm will be profit or income of the partners. Here three items are there. Interest on capital only 12%, because here as per the company rules, that is rule under section 184, only up to 12% is interest on capital payable to the partners. That is why only 12% you have to consider here. 8% you already calculated as disallowed items, that you cannot consider here. That amounts to 12% of 2,000, 1,200, that is 12 by 20. Next 4,000 into 12 by 20, 2,400, and 6,000 into 12 by 20, that 3,600. Next salary 6,000, bonus 4,000 of working partners. Here profit of partners taxable under section 28 is bonus of working partners only you have to consider, that is 11,200, 6,400 and 3,600. From this you have to deduct interest on drawings. Here only one partner's interest on drawings is given, that is C 2,000. So the total of partner's income taxable under 28 is 11,200 of A, 6,400 of B and 1,600 of C. So this is the problem. This type of problem will come in the exam, so go through this problem once again. And see next problem, compute the income of the firm from business in the following cases. Conditions under section 184 and 40B fulfilled. This is the problem that similar to the problem we solved in session number 5. Okay, refer that problem and compare that problem with this problem. See book profit 5,90,000, remuneration paid to working partners 1,70,000. Book loss 34,000 and remuneration paid to working partners 1,45,000. Next one, book profit 2,72,000 and remuneration paid to working partners 1,60,000. Next one, book loss 57,000 and remuneration paid to working partners 1,88,000. 4 cases are given. You have to calculate the income of the firm in 4 cases. Let us solve this problem. Computation of business income of the firm under 4 cases. Under that first situation, that is book profit is 5,90,000 and remuneration 1,70,000. Yes, remuneration paid is 1,70,000. So book profit of the firm you have to write in the last column 5,90,000. From that you have to deduct. Here book profit is above 3 lakh, that means on first 3 lakh 90% of book profit or 1,50,000 whichever is more, and the next one on balance, that is the book profit minus first 3 lakh on balance 60% of book profit. See, remuneration to working partners you have to deduct and you have to consider least of the following. First one, actual remuneration of working partners. Here that is 1,70,000, and second one, statutory limit under section 40B, that is on first 3 lakh of book profit, 90% of book profit, that amounts to rupees 2,70,000 or 1,50,000 whichever is more, that is 2,70,000 is more, that is why you have to consider that one, and on balance 2,90,000 at the rate of 60%, that amounts to rupees 1,74,000. So you have to write total of this one in second amount column, that is 4,44,000. So here whichever is less you have to consider, 1,70,000 is less, so you have to deduct that one from book profit, so you get the firm's income. So this is the first case of calculation of firm's income when book profit and remuneration to working partners are given. See the second one, there is book loss of 34,000. When there is a book loss, statutory limit is 1,50,000 and no more calculations here. That is book loss 34,000 less remuneration to working partners, that is actual remuneration of working partners 1,45,000 or statutory limit under section 40B 1,50,000, whichever is less you have to consider. 1,45,000 is less, so you have to consider that one. Here book loss less expenditure 1,45,000, so the total of loss of the business is equal to 1,79,000. This is the second case. See the third case, computation of business income of the firm. Book profit is given 2,72,000. Remember, this is less than 3 lakh. That is why less remuneration to working partners, actual remuneration 1,60,000 and statutory limit 2,72,000 into 90 by 100, 90% of 2,72,000. Here no need to compare 1,50,000 and 2,72,000, whichever is more you have to consider. Here 90% of 2,72,000 will be more, that is why you can directly take this into consideration. So here 1,60,000 or 2,44,800, whichever is less you have to consider. 1,60,000 is less, that is why you have to consider this one. So the firm's income amounts to rupees 1,12,000. See the last condition, when book loss of 57,000 is given. From that you have to deduct remuneration to working partners, least of the following. Actual remuneration to working partners amounts to rupees 1,88,000 and statutory limit under section 40B 1,50,000, whichever is less you have to consider. 1,50,000 is less. So the total loss of business amounts to rupees 2,07,000, because book loss plus expenditure, loss of the business increases to 2,07,000. So this is the problem which may come in your exam. Thank you. Let us solve some more problems in coming sessions.